Today we got a showdown between the Gamesir G7 SE and the EasySMX X15. Let's discuss. What's good, everybody? This is DJ Technomancer here, talking about tech, games, and more. And today I am looking at the G7 SE versus the EasySMX X15. This was requested by someone and I am here to deliver. So let's get to it. So I separated this versus battle by a couple of categories. So first, let's get into the layouts of these controllers. So both controllers use a standard Xbox layout. However, the EasySMX X15, the menu buttons are a little bit more scrunched together. So if you are used to a standard Xbox button layout, then the G7 SE might feel more natural to you than the X15. Other than that, everything else is pretty standard on these controllers. However, when we get to connectivity, that's a different story. The G7S is a wired controller only. It doesn't have any way to connect wirelessly or Bluetooth, whereas the EasySMX X15 has the ability to also connect via dongle and Bluetooth. So if you're looking for more of a wireless controller versus a wired, then you might want to go with the EasySMX versus the Gamesir G7 SE. Now, some of the features of these controllers is the Gamesir G7 SE, as you know, was originally touted as an Xbox controller and therefore can be used both on your PC devices and also the Xbox. You can't do that with the EasySMX X15. The G7S also has an audio port to plug in a line audio headset, so that way you can game with it via Xbox or PC. And it also has a little unique feature where it does come with extra buttons on the back, but you can lock those buttons in place if you're playing a game where you don't need to use or map the extra buttons. Whereas the X15 does have extra buttons. You can't lock it into place, but it does have an on-off toggle for those that don't really like to have LED on their controller or not. You can cut it on or off. It's all user preference. Both controllers have a mode button to do turbo if you need to, and ways to set up and map the keys via the onboard controller. Now, one thing I would say as I started to get to testing these controllers, it was kind of interesting because when I started this journey of testing controllers, I did not do a circularity test with the Gamesir G7 SE. So I took it as an opportunity to go ahead and not just test the sticks like I normally do with Gamepad Tester, but also test the circularity. And I was actually surprised to find out that the Gamesir G7 SE only had an error of 5%, whereas the EasySMX X15 had an error of 11.5. And normally you won't be able to tell the difference, but we'll talk about more about that a little bit later. So from there, I did my standard D-pad test where I tested for true diagonal, and I hate to say it, both of these controllers failed the true diagonal test. I just held up on the D-pad on the Gamesir G7 SE and I rocked and it just moved all over the place. Now, it might be the fact that I broke in my D-pad, so it feels a lot more looser. It feels great, but it did not do well on the true diagonal test. And the same thing with the EasySMX X15. Now, they went with a dish style D-pad, which, you know how I feel about dish style D-pads. And the other thing is, unlike the Gamesir G7 SE, this dish D-pad, it's rough on your fingers. Like, don't get me wrong, like it feels better now, but you could tell they used a hard, I mean hard plastic. So when you're moving around on that, you feel the edges of the this dish D-pad, but it did not win the true diagonal at all. So since both controllers failed the true diagonal, I was like, you know what? I might not be getting true diagonal, but let's see if they can pass a Dragon Punch test. So I went into Street Fighter 6, grabbed Terry, and my brother and I have this thing that we like to do is if we can do a move 3 times back to back with no error, we got it. So first was the G7 SE. I went and I did the rising tackle 3 times. In the midst of doing the rising tackle 3 times, Terry did a power wave. And I was like, okay, I did not roll for a power wave. I went for a DP. So that tells me that you're going to get a little bit of error on this, even though I do like the D-pad on this a lot more feeling-wise than the EasySMX X15. But now it was the X15's turn. And I did the rising tackle, no problem, 3 times back to back, no errors. So actually, the win goes to the EasySMX X15 for doing the Dragon Punch test. So it's a little bit more accurate on that. Both controllers do not have true diagonal, but EasySMX did come out on the win. So lastly, I had to do what I call the stick aim test. So usually I do this in games like Overwatch or Apex, but I have neither installed, and I wanted to get this video out as soon as possible. So I used Deadlock for this test. And as you will see when moving around with the sticks both respond great. First, I'm using the G7 SE, and the G7 SE does well and aims well. But when you switch back to the EasySMX X15, the EasySMX X15, it at times when you're trying to aim, it either overshots or undershoots a little bit while aiming with the sticks. So I will give the win for if you want more of aim, and this is where that error circularity comes in. For aiming and you want more precise aim, the G7 SE is definitely there for that versus the EasySMX X15. So both of these are not bad controllers. They're really great. They give you pro-like features with the back toggles and everything. One you can use also on your Xbox, whereas the other one is definitely for your PC devices, your standard PC, mini PCs, your Steam Decks, your ROG Allies. You take your pick, you can use it on any of those devices. So, and they're closely priced. The G7 SE, as of recording, is currently at $39.99, whereas the EasySMX X15 is $49.99. And I will have affiliate links down below so you can purchase either one or both. If you need both, there's affiliate links. Help your boy. I am not sponsored. I pay everything out of pocket myself. I know some of you that are followers of the channel is like, yo, why did he stop doing controller reviews? I didn't stop. I had a hardship happen. And with that hardship, I had to put all my extra funds towards that. So I've been waiting to get funds back up so I can start buying controllers again to review them. If you are a follower or a new follower and you want to help your boy, go to the link in the bio. I do have a Ko-fi. Go ahead, help your boy out. $1, couple of dollars, whatever you can spare. If you want to support your boy, that is a way to help. I put a lot of time into these videos and trying to give you better information on Hall effect controllers are great, and I love Hall effect controllers, but even in the Hall effect controller universe, there are some that are not so good. So definitely support the door. Alright guys, if you like this first, go ahead and give me a like, subscribe. Until next time guys, peace, love,